viewers. Welcome to another edition of First Daily Sports podcast. And today we're going to be talking about the World Cup. There's been a lot happening at the World Cup, and there's so much to talk about. I'm here in the studio today with Bulo Ahmed, one of our reporters, and we're going to be discussing all updates, all the thrills, and all the excitement, and all the troubles happening in North America, at this time, the World Cup. First, we're going to be talking about the final game, or one of the final games of the round of 16, which was between the Pharaohs of Egypt and the Argentina, the defending champions. So there's a lot being said about that game, from the officiating, people talking about the VAR, people talking about how Messi is being favored by, the FIFA and every other referee and all of that, perspective on social media. I want us to look closely into that game. So Egypt started well. What happened? Because I know we've talked about how African teams used to begin well, they get the ball started, but at some point in the game, they kind of lose focus. What happened to Egypt yesterday?
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier before, it has to be psychological and tactical, like we mentioned. The Egyptians were 2 goals up. Yeah, until the 79th minute when they capitulated against the Argentines, and you begin to wonder why African teams bottling it up at crucial stages of
because it happened to Senegal. Senegal bottled it up also against them. It happened to Ghana. It happened to DR Congo against England. It happened with Ivory Coast against Norway. Right? It keeps happening.
Yeah.
You said it's psychological. You said it's tactical. What were the tactical errors in that particular game for Egypt?
For me, there were not really many tactical errors in that game. What I think happened to the Egyptians was psychological.
Yeah,
I think they went to sleep when they were supposed to, bury the game. And like I said earlier on, they bottled it up at the 79th minute when they were supposed. That's like 11 minutes, 12 minutes with regulation time added.
Yeah.
So, and they threw away 2 goal lead and allowed the Argentines to score three goals.
But if you're going to be talking about, so there was no problem with the defense. Was there a problem with the defense?
There was, there was a problem
because I saw that at some point the Argentines could not even find their way in. Like they were everywhere. They appeared to even have 12 men on the field because they were everywhere. They tried their best, to be able to defend those goals. But like you said, psychological. I think that, Egypt didn't expect, to be beating the world champions at that time, right? So it came maybe like a complex, like an inferiority complex. So they came into the game expecting maybe to be beaten, but somehow luck had it that they were 2 goals up. So perhaps they didn't think they were deserving of that lead, and at some point they crumbled. But we won't take anything away from Argentina because, like I was saying earlier before this podcast, that these people were composed. They were very composed. From the start, they saw the entire game, but they were composed. Lionel Messi missed a penalty. That is something that was enough to, cause him to lose himself. But he was still composed. He kept firing at the Egyptians and, kept going. There were attempts, he kept pushing with his team. We can't take anything away from Argentina because they actually did the work. But what the people are saying is the officiating. Let me hear from you. What do you think about the officiating?
There were crucial points in that game that I felt did the Egyptians in. First, Mustafa Ziku scored a goal that was disallowed by VAR after a lengthy VAR check.
Yeah.
Also, there was also a penalty call against Mohamed Salah that was not given.
Yes.
But
later on,
we discovered that there were also inconsistencies inconsistencies. When the third goal Argentina scored through Enzo Fernandez, there was a foul leading up to that goal.
Yeah.
But VAR did not, the referee did not call VAR to check. In the goal Mustafa scored, VAR was called to check the goal, and the goal was disallowed. But the same did not apply to Argentina's goal. So you see, even in this World Cup, there have been issues of inconsistencies with the referee's call.
That's right.
In the group stage, there was a rough tackle Messi made on a certain player.
Yeah.
The referee did not even give a foul, didn't give a yellow card, didn't give a red card.
Yeah.
But in the round of 32, I remember a game the US played. Balogun made a similar tackle. He was given a straight red card. So you see, at this World Cup, there have been inconsistencies with the refereeing, and one of the reasons why the Egyptian coach said that he will not watch any World Cup match until the end of the tournament.
Right.
So I think FIFA needs to do something about referees' call. There are so many inconsistencies in the calls of the referees, and I think that too does some teams. Some teams find it underwhelming when calls do not go their way. Sometimes it can be underwhelming. It takes this thing off. That
it even triggers them. Yeah, I mean, you're putting in a whole lot of effort, but it's not happening. I mean, look at that game during the dying minutes of that particular game. There were already heated arguments between the Egyptian side, with
and
the referee.
Officials.
Yeah, because I think one of the reasons why that final, call for VAR check was not adhered to by the referee was because there were already altercations, right, between the Egyptian bench and the referee.
Yes.
So there was already a heated argument. And, naturally, the umpire would want to show that I have power here. I am the one
in charge,
right? So, I mean, I could see when Salah and some of the players went to the referee to be saying, please go to VAR to check, there was and there was a foul leading to this goal, leading up to this goal. I could hear the referee say, it's a goal. It's a goal, right? So the referee just wanted to assert his power to say that I'm the boss here. You can't tell me what to do. You can't dictate to me what to do. You listen to me when I say it is. So I think the Egyptian guys, they got it. I mean, they flared up and they brought emotions, a lot of emotions into the game, and that must have tampered with the referees, thinking at that particular time. Because if everything were calm, before that time, the referee would have listened and maybe go to the VAR to check. But it happens. Football is like that. But talking about VAR, how was it before the advent of VAR? And compared to now that we have VAR, are we having better matches now, or do we think that the technology has caused a lot of issues?
I think the technology has caused a lot of issues because, like I said, there are so many inconsistencies. There are calls in some matches. There are questionable. There are calls in some matches that are not being applied in other matches. So it's a question of the officials not being consistent with officiating.
But there are rules.
There are rules.
There are rules.
There are rules. It's just that they are not consistent with it. Just like the African Cup of Nations, where Morocco was handed the Cup of Nations to, from Senegal.
Yeah.
There's a ruling that once a team walks out of the pitch, the referee blows the final. But in our case, the referee did not blow the final in that match. So that's another inconsistency that also, threw CAF into an imbroglio at that time. Yeah. So it's the same thing that's happening now. When you don't follow the rules, the rules are meant to be followed, but when you don't follow them to the latter, issues keep raising. It's just like.
Do you think there are a lot of rules? There are too many.
There are too many rules. There are too many rules that cannot be followed.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, there was a time Nigeria played in one of those finals, AFCON finals, and I think the game ended in a penalty. It should be against Cameroon or one. And
that was the 2000 Nations Cup between Ghana and Nigeria.
Exactly.
Peter Ekpeba's
that penalty. If we had VAR at the time, we would have won that shootout, that game. So I think technology comes for good. right? It's just for people to follow the rules and ensure that what happens in game A happens in game B, so that everybody would not, nobody would feel cheated. Yeah, that's the point of it. So moving on, one other thing that is happening across North America now, and of course across the world, is the suspension of Folare Balogun's red card. Okay, so I know the game has gone and passed because the United States of America are already out of the World Cup. What do you see about FIFA coming up to, suspend the ban of a striker because he's playing for the host nation? I mean, it has caused a lot of issues across the world, around the world. A lot of people are saying, okay, if you're going to do this for USA, then you have to do it for our own country. What do you think? What's the political, what is going on here? What exactly is going on
I think it's just a sign of Infantino bulking under the pressure of Trump. Just like Motsepe bulked under the pressure of
Do you feel he was pressured?
The Moroccans. Yeah, I feel because it's been a long time that such is a development has happened. After a player has been given a red card in the same tournament, that decision was reversed. So it's been a long time, and Trump confirmed that he put it to Infantino that they have to review that red card given to Folare, and lo and behold, FIFA bulked to that pressure.
Well, to be fair, Trump didn't say that he pressured, right? Trump actually said that he asked them to review it, that he wasn't going to force them. Of course, they have the final say. He wasn't going to force them, right? To be fair. And I know that Trump and Infantino, they are friends. So you don't pressure your friend to do something. So I don't want us to use the word pressure, but I'm saying that, so because I'm president, you're president, and we are friends, you're going to break the rule for my sake, then it's no longer football. What are we doing here? It's a friendship play. What are the things that have happened because of this this particular incident?
So many backlashes. Recently the English FA said that Jaro Kwanzaa's red card, when received against Bosnia Herzegovina, should be reversed, just the same way Folare Balogun's red card was reversed. So other football FAs, even the GSHAM FA, also come out to petition FIFA about the refereeing in yesterday's game against Argentina. So there's a whole lot of antecedents, and when things like this come up, other countries will complain. Other countries have suffered similar instances, but they didn't get
same compensation.
They will come up with such a request saying that they want them to be given reprieve from such suspension.
When I saw that video, I was like, oh my God, where are we taking football to? I understand Trump in a way. Football is not something that they are used to in the America. They do football, but not our kind of football. So they call it soccer there. So they're not really knowledgeable about how it works.
The nitty-gritty of the game.
But nevertheless, if Trump had allowed that to slip, and USA plays the game, even if they lost, it would have been honorably. But right now, they went on to lose 4-1 against Belgium, and they already have their name painted,
blacklisted.
I mean, so we also saw how Iran. How did they react?
After the US were eliminated from the round of 16, there were celebrations in Tehran that the US had finally been eliminated. They said now the whole world can dance. So it all shows you, even it was more like a reply, because when the Iranian national team exited the group stage, there was a US official who said it is good that the Iranians had left the tournament. So it was more like a gas boost, like they say in local parlance now. So it's like, hit me, I hit you back.
Right.
So it was more like a good time for the Iranians to hit back at the Americans.
Well, but round of 16, I mean, they've played 3 games in the group stage.
Yeah.
They played in the first knockout stage, 1 game, and then they played 16. That's 5 games. If you play 5 games in the World Cup, I mean, you've done well,
you've done
because
well.
you just have 3 games, to get to this. So if everybody is dancing, I don't know, I think USA should be proud. Talking about USA being the host, and they played up to 5 games. You realize that the 3 nations that hosted, they all played 5 games.
Right, round of 16.
I mean,
round of 16.
Did you see them reaching the round of 16?
Well, the only team I predicted to reach the round of 16 was Mexico.
Mexico.
I never saw
the USA and Canada
getting as far as the round of 16. But credit to all to all the co-hosts. They got to the round of 16, and only exited through Mexico lost to England, Canada lost to
and that game was a thriller.
Yeah, it was a thriller.
Was a thriller.
Thriller in Aztec Stadium.
Because England were happy, happy they could get past Mexico. I mean, it was an equal game.
Yeah, it was.
Luck was on the side of the 3 lions. And then Canada, nobody thought they would get to the round of 16. I mean, they did well in the group stage, and then they got to the round of 32, and they still got to the round of 16.
Only in fact, knocked out by Morocco.
I mean, a Morocco side that had gotten to semifinals in the last World Cup. So credits to them. Credits to them. Okay, so to end this particular session, we would like to talk about the possibilities. I mean, we have just 8 games, 8 teams left in the tournament, and we have 4 games to happen next in this quarterfinal, and then we have 2 matches in the semi-final, and then we have the final game. So 40 teams have gone home. We have 8 teams remaining. Who do you see in the final?
I see a repeat of the last World Cup, Argentina, France. That's what I see in my crystal ball. I see a repeat because both teams have proven to be phenomenal in this tournament. France have not lost any game in this tournament. So likewise Argentina. They've been firing on all cylinders. Messi has been leading the line for Argentina with his co-cast. And also the French too have been firing on all cylinders. Mbappe, Dembele, and all other players left in that team. So I expect both teams to be in the final again. And
who wins?
This time I give it to France. I think the French would get it this time.
Okay, so I need us to see the recent games.
Okay.
France actually struggled against Paraguay. I understand there were dark arts from the Paraguayan side, but we can't take the effort away from them. They actually, played with their hearts to ensure that they keep, the French side, at bay. Also, the Argentine team, they've struggled. I mean, they struggled with Cape Verde. Nobody thought that game was going to be that long. In fact, Cape Verde almost took them into penalties because that game was, was tight. And then Egypt too. Against Egypt. So the teams you have just mentioned, they have struggled as well. In comparing them with other teams, I mean, didn't you see Spain? Spain have not conceded a goal, since the start of the World Cup. Why are you not thinking towards Spain? Why are you thinking that we're going to have a repeat of Argentina and France final?
Well, I'm looking at both individual play and team play.
Okay.
The French have got both individual play and team play. We have Dembele, you have Desire Doué, you have Kylian Mbappe. You also have Michael Olise, pulling the strings from the midfield. And you have a solid defensive midfield. You have Manu Kone, you have Adrian Rabiot and Tchouameni. So the French team have star-studded, and they also play as a unit.
Yes,
that's the most important thing. And they also have a solid defensive pairing.
And they have a winning coach.
They have a winning coach who has won the World Cup.
Yes, he has.
So it tells you the makeup of the French team. The Spanish team, they are good technically. They work as a team, but they don't have any standout player. In the game against Portugal, it only took a tactical change, and the goal that was scored by a midfielder Komataka, who plays as a false nine. No, so it tells you the makeup of the Spanish team. They don't really have a go-to player. Maybe that go-to player is Lamine Yamal.
Yeah,
he's the one that everybody sees as the star.
But we've not really seen much
of him.
Of him.
The star of their team seems to be Oyarzabal. Even the game against Portugal, he flattered to deceive. There were so many gilt-edged chances that he could have converted, but he didn't in that game. Probably he was suffering from cramp or for playing too many games at this World Cup. But the Spanish team, I think they're a good side though, but they lack individual players that can, or turn the game around over its head when it comes to that point.
Okay, so I have my own teams that I want to see in the final. So this is my prediction, and my prediction is not one that is accepted by everyone.
Okay.
But I'm so sure of what I'm saying. I expect to see Belgium and Norway in the final. In fact, I believe that this is a Norway World Cup, right? Belgium might be getting to that point where we all think that this is the worst Belgium side.
I think they're the dark horses,
right? If you pay attention to that particular team, everyone has given up on them. I mean, look at the previous World Cup and then the previous World Cup before the previous World Cup. We saw them and we were calling them, the golden generation and all of that. But, things have died down.
Yeah.
But they can do something in this World Cup. I see them playing, in the quarterfinal and then taking off Spain. And then they go on to play, in the semi-final and beat off whoever wins between France and Morocco. And they are going to get to the final where they're going to meet Norway. That's my prediction. Norway, on the other hand, they're playing England now. I see them taking England off, and they're going to meet whoever wins between Switzerland and Argentina, and they're going to beat those ones off too. And they're going to get to the final against Belgium. And they're going to win the World Cup. And everybody in the world, we are going to do the role celebration, right? We're all going to be Vikings. We're all going to be Vikings for a very long time. I mean, maybe until the end of this year, because everybody would do the role. Look at that country. I mean, I've watched them. I saw how they came to the World Cup. They came very prepared. I mean, I read a story how they are not eating the Mexican, the US food.
Haaland has his own diet.
Exactly. They brought in their own food. They brought in dietitians to take care of their own players. That's one. Then secondly, they came up with this celebration. Every game, they do the Viking celebration.
After every game.
And it's even beyond the World Cup. Their parliament actually celebrated like that. In fact, very recently, I saw that their soldiers, their air, like everywhere, everybody is doing that's a massive national support for the team. And when you are having that kind of backing from home, you're going to do wonders. You're going to do wonders. I mean, they took out Brazil from the tournament.
The almighty Brazil.
I mean, almighty Brazil. Everybody expected that Brazil, they were going to break the jinx and, for the first time in long time, win the, and they just, like it was easy. Do you understand? It was easy. So I see this World Cup to be a Norway World Cup, and I see them playing Belgium in the final, and I see them winning. That's my prediction.
That's nice.
So that's all we're going to have now. Thank you so much for joining us. See you another time.